You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Ari.
And it's me, Brian. And on this week's episode, we are covering anime that aired. That's the wrong date there, Brian. It is February the... hang on, where are we? It's...
Oh, God.
We're in March now. February 22nd to the 28th.
That's it.
Okay, yeah, we're good. Because it works out evenly. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't replace a calendar in this room, so I couldn't even look up. We got one on our computer now. Yeah, but I actually look at the wildlife photo. What's on there?
And we start out with Sakamoto Days, episode 7, Jurassic Bastard. What a great episode title, and what a great episode. I think this is my favourite one of the show yet, and this is one where I'm getting more confident that the action's going to be good.
Yeah.
Stuff I forgot was in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did fucking do that. That was nuts.
Because you remember Boiled. Boiled is a great character, but I forgot about did he even have a name? The guy in the hazmat suit who keeps going oh shit, I'm fucking it up over and over again. I was like, what a great bit character. I love that guy. He's probably dead now. He was in a jail cell when we left him, but he's probably being medically experimented on by the end of it. Yeah.
So essentially in this episode, Lou gets kidnapped by people who think she's Shin because she's wearing Shin's apron.
One of the reasons that Shin is not in the shop is because Sakamoto is on Parents' Day or something like that. So he's just taking all the pictures being the proud dad. And Lou and Shin have gotten into an argument about how Shin is creepy because he keeps reading her mind. And he's taking that very personally. And also because she's wearing his apron to do the worst, cleaning the toilets kind of tasks.
Luckily, he's got a GPS tracker, and it's when Sakamoto
all my employees have GPS trackers on their tags just while they're on the clock. I'm not a weirdo. Says Sakamoto.
So when Sakamoto and Shin come back to a busted up shop, they can quickly give chase.
So they take the signature branded Sakamoto motorcycle, which does not last till the end of the episode.
Just got that for the shop as well. I feel like we're about to do home deliveries now. It would be fun. Take down those Okado bastards. Play them at their own game.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like the is it the Matrix 2 has the fucking the freeway thing?
Reloaded.
Yeah. So it has it does a better job of that because it's not using it's using crazy physics and optical camouflage and that kind of shit. But it's still reasonable. Except for dudes getting punted into cars and whatnot, and a van full of guys on motorbikes, just in case we need a van full of guys on motorbikes for just such a situation.
This might happen.
It's a more plausible action scene on a freeway, and even have the baddies announce at one point, it's like, come on, we got to turn off here. It's like, no, we can't turn off for another, it's like the next turn off is for a while yet. And it's like, it's logical, reasonable, and wild fights on top of cars, as you would want from the show.
And unlike the other guys in suits whose names we can't remember, this guy has a face and a name.
Yeah, your man keeps calling him Zeba-chan. It's like, Zeba-chan, bail me out. Come on, I need your help. I'm not a real character, and you're a real named character, so I'm in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. It's fun. It's like, okay. It's kind of it's just very flat about everything.
He feels he feels the most jobber out of them, even though he is a named character and therefore more important than all these jobbers.
He's just here for the cool gadgets. He loves the optical camouflage, making some cool stuff inside here. Want to try it out?
So the bike ends up destroyed, but luckily they've got the GPS, which has stopped in Okutabe.
It's in the Science Museum.
Yeah, this is where, because when he hears Shin's was it the organization or something like that? The lab?
The lab.
They have a very generic name. It's like, you mean the lab? It's like, no, I mean a lab.
Lab?
A different.
Dexter's
lab?
This
is the place where they taught Shin how to use his psychic powers. He was the only person that successfully ever got. And I was like, yeah, but they weren't a bunch of weirdo people who would kidnap the wrong person and that kind of shit. They were just a bunch of weirdos training a kid with Telepathy.
Well,
the people in the tragic backstory of a One Piece character who like
they're
surely
the
dead
nice
now.
scientists who are all fucking. I mean, they're not dead, but they haven't been taken over by a group of assassins, which is not good for them as scientists. No.
Yeah, you get the feeling these are the closest people Shin had to family.
Yeah, like they liked him, he liked them. It was like they were cool. I just had to move out and become my own man, which was an assassin, as it turns out. Awkward, but you know.
But before we get to those guys, we've got to fight a dinosaur skeleton that has been come to life with cybernetics.
They have like this like the little appetizer of the bear with a gun in its mouth. Actually, two bears. There's a polar bear and a grizzly bear with guns in them.
To open the secret elevator, you have to do this thing. You have to twist the bear's head, and Sakamoto's like, "This is really fucking stupid." And it's just like the elevator comes up, and it's like, "Oh fuck, they changed the password." So what we do is just beat up these two guns. I did like again the conversation with Sakamoto. It's just like, have you fought bears? Sakamoto's like, I've been trained to fight bears, not bears with guns in their mouths, but you know, I mean, like that's new. And it's like, is that a robotic fucking T-Rex skeleton? Because you hear the computer going like, all right, moving to level 2, fucking intruder alert.
Dinosaurs. That's a new one on me. But
and Sakamoto wants to take it alive so he can show it to his daughter, because she'll be like, holy shit, a robot dinosaur skeleton. That's cool as fuck. Understandable, but he can't take it alive. It's too dangerous.
It was never allowed Sakamoto, but okay. What's cool? And it was just because it's a very bizarre set piece.
Yeah,
they're doing interesting things with it, and it's that aspect that we enjoy about it. You know, it's like it's a shame sometimes when it goes into kind of super cool mode when the heat's really on. But now I like seeing like a big dude do the kung fu acrobatic moves that Sammo Hung like look feels, but it's like we love seeing that as well. We couldn't just do that more often.
Mm-hmm. And keeping it like, despite like a really good action sequence and everything, keeping it a bit silly by the fact that the lads are dressed as dinosaurs, I think. For infiltration reasons, they're wearing dinosaur masks from the gift shop, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, they've rearranged a lot of the scenes.
Yeah.
From the manga in this, so it's all slightly happening in slightly different order to how it happens in the comic. Yeah. So then they find the lab, and they have to go into hiding because what do they call them? The
floor supervisors of the assassins who have been put in charge of various levels.
The 4 Heavenly Kings.
Yeah, as with your video game thing, you know, you move up the floors, or your damn it, what's the Bruce Lee film that all fucking fighting video games are based on? Yes, thank you. That's the one. That kind of situation. You got to defeat each floor master of the lab as you work your way through it. The head of the lab is being kept. The old man, who again looks younger than me, is being kept on the lowest floor, obviously.
Shin's back. He'll come. Just you watch. Can't believe come down.
He does come back. He gets to do some stuff, but unfortunately, the guy has a series of microchips that he's injected into Shin in order to make him talk backwards and punch left when he means to punch right. It makes him do everything opposite day.
I forgotten about this dude. This time he kind of walks in and it's just like he's got that torn up lab coat, the bizarre hair. He has a little like round like shades. He's like, oh, he's just like
he's got 4 syringes in his shoulders. Yeah, he's got a good look.
A sneaky dude who probably was just like, you know, and he's like he's drinking off like a fucking like a blood bag like at a Capri Sun, and it's just like, oh, there's too much going on here.
Oh. That's fine because he doesn't last very long.
Yes.
But he is enough for me returning, because I was like, what work? He's got the big X on him, so you know he's working for Slur. So I was like, what were they trying to achieve here? And then once he does his thing, I was like, okay, I think I know what they were trying to achieve here based on the thing which happens.
Yeah.
Down the line, the bit of science that they do have down the line. It all kind of makes sense. But yes, he's got he makes Shin talk backwards. Sakamoto thinks it's cool, which is he can do it as well.
It does the Luffy thing of keeping Sakamoto out of the fight by when they got stuffed in lockers to hide them from this guy. Sakamoto is too fat and therefore took a bit longer to get out of the locker, and he does the entire bit square-headed because he's taken the shape of it. Good stuff. Yeah.
But he does defeat this guy with a single punch.
Yeah, it doesn't last fucking time at all. No.
Meanwhile, Lou is in a cell with Tanaka, the useless guy, the guy who fucked up on the kidnapping.
Oh, you did have a name. Excellent. Okay.
Trying to break out the cell
Tanaka's
by
fired.
chipping away when somebody behind them says, "That's not going to work, but you want to help me, you want me to help you break out of here." And this is the head scientist of the lab who we've seen in Shin's flashbacks. And he kind of looks like a scientist you might see in One Piece. He's like, there's like enough character to him, but he's also wearing a lab coat to make sure you know he's a scientist.
So that's all you need to do, like, going to burn out a fun slacker looking dude. But he said he's a scientist, so you can't be all bad. You can't be entirely dumb.
And then finally, we see 2 members of the Order wandering up to the museum as well.
They're gonna shut it down. We do also get our first look at our deer-faced guy, which is going to be, fortunately, Kashima, who's going to be a continuing character throughout the series. Because initially, because you see that weird scientist dude with the syringes in his shoulders, and you're like, okay, it's got a bunch of weirdos, like one-off guys. Like, no, the deer mask guy is here to stay, seemingly. He's going to stick around for a while, so that's good.
Apparently, the syringe guy is called Mad Horiguchi.
When his name comes in, it comes in like a syringe, and it gets like pumped into the syringe. I was like, yeah. Good graphic design.
Yeah, this worked very well for, I think, changing it around. Sped it up, and also, I think they got a lot more into the episode than they did last week.
It doesn't feel drawn out. It feels packed.
Yes, because based on the rhythm of last week, it was about 15 minutes in. I thought that was the end of the episode. I was like, oh, what? No, there's still more. I was expecting that to be the episode based on last week's rhythm.
And in contrary to the last week's one, where it's just like, it makes our sniper guy look like he's a terrible shot because we're just seeing like hail of bullets, everything like this. We have another episode this week which has one sniper shot, and it's very dramatic, and I was like, yes, it does the whole episode leading up to this one sniper shot. It's like, that's how you do it. That's how you build tension.
Next on the list,
might just do it.
Is because there's yet more great fighting to come in this arc. Or episode 22, neither of you will be known to history.
Hey.
Sorry, it's a fact.
I can't help it, man. I just got that kind of face. It's cool.
I'll be famous one day. Just you wait.
So I've watched a good chunk of next week's episode as well, so I know how much more audacious it's getting. But this is a pretty audacious episode.
It's very good. It's very good.
Is because I know that the author said is about how the Japanese misunderstanding of this period of history through specifically the Galileo persecution, and assuming it was just for heliocentrism. It's the bit where Antony pauses and realizes, hang on a second, is it only our area that's gone mad for persecuting people into heliocentrism?
Well, see, my father persecuted people who did heliocentrism, and wait, I don't actually know if anyone else is doing this.
You know what? I think he was so salty. He was just a washed-up astronomer. It's like they just take it. This makes so much sense now.
That fits into all the stuff where it's the now long dead priest Bedini, who's still plot relevant in terms of his name. He used to work for his dad, and it's just like that's why he was researching. And he's like, I crunched the numbers, and Bible is wrong. Sorry. And the dad's like, no, I must suppress this information. It can't be the way of it. But there's several things of it. Like, I thought the title, because they say the title in the show, I thought that was going to be said by our Inquisitor to the other two guys, because a lot of the time you're waiting for him to fucking catch up, and it's like he's getting there. He's a little bit behind due to various shenanigans, but I was just like, I thought it was going to be said from him to them, but it was said from them to him. I was like, to Novak. Yeah, I didn't expect that. That was a nice turn. But anyway, sorry too.
Yeah, well, you figured too that did it mean I assumed did it mean like Draka and Schmidt who are going to make the escape? Of it's like then the way Schmidt's talking is just like, I'm looking forward to my bathing in the sunrise. When you should do it too. But it's like, go away with you and your weird beliefs, because he's kind of saying, no, like it's he's trying to imply that it's just as seeing the sunrise this means you've lived to see another day, which means that you're gonna go and fucking ride back gallantly and fucking fight dudes. Yep, yeah, you fucking go down like a champ, go down swinging. It's like, there you go.
Yeah, like he basically body tackles two of them off their horses just by like just flinging himself off the horse.
Very Captain Kirk kind of like fun.
Yeah, and even like having to like
breath.
get himself back on the feet, and was like, I need to get my sword real fucking quick. Fights off one guy who wasn't body tackled. And then the other guy like gets back up, stabs him through. He's like, well, I can still get you. But there's a third guy. It's our.
Well, Novak gets him.
Novak gets him because Novak was just hanging back. He was like, wait for it, because Novak is the most sensible out of all these crusading motherfuckers.
I think he was also concussed. Just like, I got one in before I collapsed, so I'm American count. But as soon as he does that, he just flops.
Because he gets the line on him is just like, what is it like? Giving you a chance to repent. Like, where has Heliocentrum ever gotten you? And it's like, where he says the kind of line of what is like, listen, I might have made a bad. You might think it's a bad choice, but it was my fucking choice to make. And again, that's kind of contrary to this. I will let God decide. It's like, no, this is the decision I fucking made, and it got me killed, but I feel like it was the right one. Dies choking on his own fucking blood, and Novak's kind of like, well, I'm gonna fucking lie down for a fucking minute because I'm heavily concussed from falling off a fucking horse.
Yeah, and prior to that, at the actual shed, it was very elusive samurai where Novak was trying to get them all to hang back, and the guy,
go get him.
Yes, Ash, who previous to this was all in on torturing heretics, has now had his confidence wavered by explosives. Modernity again, has scared the shit out of him.
Yeah, the shock and awe of it, like 100% what it was intended to do. They're capable of anything. She just blew herself the fuck up, man.
But then they bring out the fucking turtle formation. It's just like, oh, they've had two ends of history here, like on ancient Roman tactics and modern explosives. They're this fun actual chaotic force. How do we take them on?
And so Novak is trying to calmly explain to him, is like, yeah, this is fine. They just have that because we've got the crossbows. So this kind of formation collapses in like melee combat. So what we'll do is like, charge, men! And he's like, God fucking damn it. Like, just listen to me for fuck's sake. Now they're getting away on horses behind us. Like, because he's like, it was a feint.
Yeah. And Ash Novak's just like, I'm just going to.
Yeah. And Novak's kind of like,
you're gonna make an old man get on a horse and chase them. Yes, you are, because you're a little.
I'll leave this fucking mess to you. Like, I gotta chase after these guys now, because clearly that's the guys who we should be chasing. This entire fucking shenanigans is a distraction that you have played right into. Again, like, despite Novak being like hell bent on revenge against heliocentrism, he is the most sensible guy. He's reacting in very logical kind of ways. Yeah.
Yeah, but they see his poor world, his entire world will get crushed.
Yeah. So Draka going up to the city gates late at night, kind of like, I'm a tinsmith. I'm here to come into town. Is like, where's your papers? It's like, fucking bribe. So they're like, cool. But Novak, when he comes up to, here's my fucking papers. I'm an inquisitor. I'm looking for someone. You see anyone suspicious tonight? They're like, yeah, that young woman who bribed us. It's like, cool. She went towards the church. Cool. So she's woken up our bishop. He's like, all right, if it's important, I guess. It's like, oh, it's you. Cool. Give me the gist of your plan. And she gives
also, first of all, he makes sure to send away the other person.
Yeah, as soon as he's like, okay, we're going to be talking about crimes now, right? Okay, cool. All right. So he's willing to hear her out, and he's like, it's an okay plan, but like, I can't be going with heliocentrism now because he's nearly like she gets him talking. It's like, well, it was my father against heliocentrism and his father before, and it's like, no, it was just my dad actually.
Yeah, but like, no, where in the Bible does it say that explicitly? Can you like think of any point where it says outright this is like this is heresy, this is blasphemy? It's just like, what does Dad said? Huh.
Is it just us? It's almost stepping out the story to say,
yes,
this is not what happened in history.
Yeah.
This is a misinterpretation of what happened. And these characters have misinterpreted.
They're within their own version of the misinterpretation. Yeah.
I think it probably get wrapped up in stuff like the Spanish Inquisition. It's just like, yeah, a lot of people got tortured and killed like that, but that was a whole different thing. There was like a schism in the faith. It wasn't anything to do with this. It was like, contemporaneous or more than separated by much time, but it didn't go down like that, man.
It was a different reason. Like Draka said to him priorly, there is going to be different infighting among the churches, going to be different divisions, that kind of thing. This is not that. This is a thing we're going to directly profit from because we're appealing to, what's the way she puts it? People
want to be entertained rather than
stimulation.
Yes. And so these new ideas are a thing we can sell to people, and books, especially ones that can be read by the masses, not like academic shit. This is written that any layman can understand it and go out and write this down if they want to. Like they can
this speaks to Anthony as well, because he's a politician. He's trying to win influence, and it's just like, well, what's the good messaging here? And also, how am I getting the message out? I can just speak to them directly, not through this prey upon their piety or their faith. I can just tell them directly, if you elect to be bishop, I promise free ice cream for all. It's like, wow, that's pretty good.
One of the things I love about the show of having these characters who are often pricks in their own fucking regard, but appealing to Anthony, not because he's a reasonable man, but because you know what will appeal to him. He craves power. So if you're the head of the church and also you're selling information that is anti-church to the other side, you're making money both fucking ends, man. It's great. I'm my own enemy and I'm the hero. It's just it's win-win. Also, we got to discuss how we're splitting this. She's like 50-50. He's like 80-20. And she's like, deal.
She could have pushed for 70-30, but she didn't want to get fucking hung by the neck at this stage.
Yeah, he's got her, because before he realizes that heliocentrism is a recent thing to be anti against. He's kind of like, well, once I torture you in the dungeons, it's just because he's willing to throw her immediately to the dogs, and it's 20% is pretty good. Actually, I'll take that rather than torture. Thank you.
Still got
it. But it is also it's a nice mirror of the Yolenta Orczy from part 2 of her belief in reading is probably more important than her belief in heliocentrism to the story.
Yeah.
Heliocentrism is the idea, but it's also the other theme of this is how an idea becomes this almost infectious thing. You can never quite ever stamp it out. Once it gets out there and put down any kind of record, verbal or oral or written or otherwise, it's in there. No, we can't put that back in the bottle, and it'll get out some way somehow. It will defy you across time as well.
If there was a new hot trend in animal husbandry, Draka would have been willing to put that in the printing press. Yes. But this is the new hot idea, so this is the one we got to go with. She's not interested in heliocentrism. It's a thing she can sell through this other method, basically. Yes.
Yeah. And then Novak comes in to have his world destroyed.
She's like, oh yeah. She's like, can I send the letters? Like, cool, I'll get my carrier pigeon for you. Don't worry about it. And he's handing the pigeon, and Novak's like, are you guys just fucking hanging out? That's a heretic. And the bishop's like, who's to say what's a heresy? It's just I'm
kind of the expert on this. My title
the Bible can be interpreted many ways when you think about it. I mean, the earth going around the sun, that's not necessarily against God's fucking teachings. That's still, the earth is still the center of the universe. Our sun is the most important sun. That is just and Novak's like, but it's bad, though.
Listen, Novak, a lot of people talk shit, but we don't fucking burn them at the stake for their stupid ideas. So, what's the harm in this?
And even him kind of getting very upset, obviously. It was but I tortured and killed all those fucking people.
He doesn't kill my family. He killed my family.
We didn't keep a lot of those records because we had you do that. So it wasn't the church doing that. It was you doing that. And also we destroyed a lot of those records. Also, I literally just sent some guys to destroy the rest of the records we have of that. So there's no fucking history of that. Who fucking cares? And history will forget you and all the people we tortured and killed to death. That's the two distinct groups: Novak and all the people he tortured and killed. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. His entire life's work reduced to nothing.
Yeah. He's the antagonist, absolutely. You're kind of you feel sorry for him, certainly. but like I feel like really bad for him. I was like, Jesus, man, this sucks.
Yes, because really the antagonist is Antoni's dad.
Yeah, Antoni's the worst guy in this, and we're kind of like, oh, I hope Draka makes a deal with Antoni.
Like, you know, like everyone Novak, like he's being used in this now, and then like it's fucking awful, like, you know, the way he got treated out of that. But it's this, he has no idea, just like, even like, you know, he thinks I'm in control, I'm pursuing this down. This is about my crusade to want to take this down. This is my idea. If one said, nope, you've been used up to the very end of your tragic life.
Essentially, he's the champion fighter that Orcsy was. He's been sent out by Antoni's dad at the start in part 1 to do the stuff that the dad doesn't want to do. And Tony's
to do stuff to keep the church's hands clean. Yeah.
And Tony's put in the priesthood because he's an illegitimate child who his dad's trying to cover up. And he gets his revenge on Novak in part 2 by faking the death of his daughter. We'll see where it goes next week when we get the end of this part and the start of the 4th part.
Wild.
But the epilogue, really.
It is. It's very much. It's crazy. In kind of what the choice of how to wrap it up. I assume I will enjoy it based on how many people I see. Well, I like the manga, but I didn't like the finale.
This means it must be good.
Dude, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Once you say that, and who the one character announced is a real person who really existed, and I was like, okay.
Twain.
I put this in the same thing as Vinland Saga, not just because it's like this is history with real world historical characters, but like not quite like this. This is a way to tell a story we want to tell through stuff that happened, basically.
Like, you know, these two could have been there, they're just not in the history books. To say it wasn't like action packed, harrowing human drama.
You say there wasn't a heresy liberation squad.
And much like Villain Saga or Golden Kamuy or the like, no, all your favorites die, and you just get used to that. Everyone's saying this is a story like, you know, these characters are in service of it's about them, but it's really more about like the idea and what they represent is being carried through.
It doesn't feel that kind of thing. It doesn't feel cheap like your Game of Thrones, where it's like don't fucking like anyone because they'll be killed off, and it's not like no, the characters are participating in the story. They're passing on the torch, like that's a very clear metaphor in it. Like, but the story isn't about them; it's about their participation in this larger narrative, and it works well for that.
Yeah, it feels like it's not trying to be historical because of its saying it's the Sea Church in the Pea Kingdom, but it's taking its inspiration from history to tell a fictional story that only works if you fictionalize it in this way, where there are echoes through all 3 parts.
Yeah.
And while it is like it's lifting from history, but it's not a historically accurate thing, it is in its own way about history and how it's told and recorded.
Yes, because then at this end point, we're getting a character, as I say, almost stepping out of the story to say, hang on a second, why is our story like this? It shouldn't be like this. I've looked around
I'm
elsewhere.
Troy McClure. Remember, the anime as Christmas Ape no Daiboken.
And then in the final part, we're getting a short story about the teacher of Copernicus.
Sure.
Which I'm like, how does that tie everything up? Perhaps it doesn't. Perhaps it just says
it was all leading to him or some mention of him or this or C-San or some kind of thing of it. Or he was going like, you know, some kind of like mention of him in there for sure.
Yeah, or it would just be, well, that was fun, wasn't it? But this is what really happened.
So that history is way more hilarious than you were told in school.
Yeah, maybe if you learn your history through Time Bokan, that's where you're doing it wrong.
Yes. Anyway, on to the real history. Kinnikuman Perfect Origin Arc, Season 2, Episode 18, the Chojin Genesis, as we get into, well, a perfect origin.
First up, we got to finish the fight between Buffalo Man and Grim Reaper.
But finish, she's fucked. It's just, but he has to get his like his little digs in before he.
It's basically Grim Reaper going like, well, I'll take off my jacket so you can kill me. Just fucking like I'll give you the honor of actually doing the killing because he gets back on his feet. Well, I mean, like he rises like a vampire.
Yes,
To
he's
his
like,
feet.
well, yeah. He's basically says, yeah, I've still got plenty in me, but you did defeat me, so this is the tough part of being a perfect Chojin is I got to kill myself.
Because I'm basically immortal, and that makes it really difficult. Like physically, it's very awkward for me to kill myself. It takes a lot of fucking effort. So you'd be doing me a solid, and I'm doing you a solid by letting you finish me off. And Kinnikuman's like, don't do it, Buffalo Man. You're still a cool guy. I don't know why he went to work for the devil again, but come on, we're still buddies, right? And Buffalo Man's like,
I'm bound by my weird sense of honor to do this.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Goaded on by Grim Reaper is like, hey, what did that man tell you to do? It's just like, oh yeah, right, kill you guys. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
runs him through.
Purge the perfect Chojin. But
it's a little bit of
like, is he doing this like like he's not doing it really because he's listening to Wrestle Satan? It's just like I have to fight for my friends. I can touch on my friends. I gotta avenge them, and not doing it for the boss.
Ben, hey, Warsman's finally got up the stairs. Finally got someone collapsed them.
I did like what's he called? Is he just called Polar Man or something?
Yeah, Polar Man.
Yeah,
right. Polar Man's like, real good plan of pissing me off by fucking taking your sweet time to get up here. It's like the inside of the pyramid is fucked. He drilled to the center of the fucking earth, or like to a geyser or whatever the fuck. So it's all fucked up inside there. But don't worry, I got my bear claw. And he's like, I am
a bear.
Yeah. He's not even the tiger mask thing where it's just like an unmoving snarly face. It does open and close with his mouth, so
it's a very confounding design because it's like it's like a bear's head, so it's like, it's some kind of bear man, but it just comes all the way down, and it's like he's wearing his own skin as sleeves, and he has human hands with like the bear claws on top of it. So it's like, what is this? Like it's like the bear is like hulked out of its own arms. It has human arms inside.
We're still yet to find out what the deal is, but they keep trying to claw at each other. Basically, is those two guys. In the meantime, the other two wrestlers are
Robin Mask and Nemesis.
Nemesis are wrestling, but Nemesis is like, do you know the true history of the dawn of time, the dawn of wrestling? I guess in this case, same thing. Basically.
Like Robin Mask, you're a Chojin scholar. You should know as well. It was like when two Chojin love each other very much, and say, "No, not that version. I'm talking about a trillion years ago."
Yes.
But there were two entities, of whose like in the beginning there was just two huge dudes.
Because it's basically Robin Mask things of like, I think all Chojin wrestlers are valid, and we're all wrestlers. We are of different ability, but that's okay because it's who the crowd is cheering for. It's the way the plot goes. I mean, it's basically how it needs to go for that kind of thing. And it's like, no, we're perfect. We're better. Here's the reason why: the gods saved us from the great culling of Chojin. That Chojin was the original kind of form of life. I mean, like they wrestled dinosaurs and shit, but that's just like because it was there. They just wrestled whatever was there in front of them, including eventually, because it was all fun and games wrestling. And then they got pretty violent. People started making buzzsaw hands and shit. It's like ugly. The gods were like,
well, see, with disparity came competitiveness, and then it became this like the whole might makes right. The strong will prey upon the weak.
And initially, these proto-form wrestlers are like just big hulking guys. It's fine, wearing leaf loincloths, that kind of shit. But eventually, once the disparity starts coming in, they all get different haircuts. They get different weird things on their bodies, as we know that tradition continues to this very day, where you can have taps coming out your arms, that kind of thing.
Buster arm, we see like knives for arms, we see someone with a hammer for a head.
One of the saved perfect Chojin.
We spent a million years workshopping gimmicks.
One of the saved perfect Chojin guys has we only see him in silhouette, but you can make it out because he's clearly got fucking antlers. It's like, what's that guy's deal? We'll never know. Well, we might. I don't know.
Yeah,
probably will.
So yeah, the Chojin guys said, "Oh, get a load of these Chojin we made. They're absolutely awful." So we're going to release, what do they call it? It's like a special ray.
It's a kind of light ray that kills Chojin specifically.
Yes,
all of their life will be fine. They die. really horrifically from this.
Yeah,
fucking
they get just
radiation.
melted, like some kind of a neutron star like going off and it's cooking
Yeah,
you
so
in your own bones.
Most of
all
the
of the-
gods said yay, but one said no. I think there's still some Chojin who are worth saving, so I'm going to leave
there's some
godhood.
pure of heart
and-
guys. I'll go down there, pick up those guys, and we can wipe out the rest of them. We'll put them in an anti that radiation cube, and we'll save just those guys. Those guys went on to be the perfect Chojin. And
Yes, and then Robin Mask's like, okay,
But life
so
found
why
a
are we
way.
here?
Life
The
found
Nemesis
a
is
way.
like, yes, quite. Why are you here? That's why.
So- Nemesis's problem is you guys are against the fucking our Bible, so we're gonna here to murder you all to make sure our Bible's real. That's his fucking plan.
Where is that written down, Nemesis? Is this something your dad told you, or what? What's happening?
Like maybe the goop from the fucking melted Chojin formed like a primordial ooze of Chojin or so. I don't fucking know. I guess
Well,
we'll
it's like,
find out.
is this in the Bible, or just based upon your master sign? Do you have a chip on your shoulder about something else?
I think he's telling the truth.
Yeah. But he's
Could be two
missing
things.
Yeah.
We've met 5 of these gods before in a previous arc.
Yeah, the god who basically gave up his godhood to go down and pick up these dudes is
Neptune Man.
Yeah.
And Big Debudo was the other guy. And Strong Debudo, no relation, or is he? This shows up with all these dudes in tow who were kept in cosmic isolation for how long?
Yeah, I think the evil gods were involved in the Succession of the Throne arc.
Okay.
Where it saw the different Kinniku men forming teams. I think this is where it feels very, particularly when you see the gods just in like floating head form, feels very Jim Starlin 1970s Marvel cosmic nonsense. And this is added to by the way that Robin Mask is drawn a lot in this episode.
Yes.
The shading on his mask feels very Marvel Comics shading.
Actually, speaking of, I randomly saw a clip. It was just on YouTube. I was like, "Go on, I'll check." I've probably seen I've seen this week's Kinnikuman. Surely I can just hop back to another one, and it'll be reasonable by comparison. I was fucking wrong, and it was referenced in this episode where it's Robin Mask versus Mammoth Man. And if they cut these strings, their bodies like turn into ghosts or something. I couldn't quite figure out what the fuck was going on. But it's the bit where the two lads have to pick him up because his legs have turned invisible. And I was just like, okay, it's just as wild as it ever fucking was. Good to know. Good to know.
Again, but I jumped in on one and was like, where Rama Man killed Brocken Jr.'s dad and turned him into noodles and ate him.
Well, I must. If you like this nonsense, I recommend the fan subs that are now coming out for Bikuri Man, which are nice, like 10-15 minute episodes. I hadn't realized that. She's doubly good. But the second episode of that, Onigashima, he in the end of the first episode was left sliced in half, and his legs are turned to stone. And in this episode, he's trying to glue his legs back onto his body, and then another one of the devils comes along and splits him in 3, but only splits the top half. So it's now 3 of him wandering around without legs and 1 pair of legs that they've got to share.
But
That's good shit.
Creative things to solve the personnel problems around here, aren't they? But it just leaves everybody backed over in the end.
But that's got a lot of because of the stickers. It's you get your devil ones and you get your the angel or god ones.
The goodies and the baddies, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very like, oh, which things were feeding off each other in this?
Presumably, it's all a big fucking melting pot. Like,
yes,
yeah.
But yeah, I was very pleased to see fan subs come out for Bikuri Man because I was very curious. It was like one big like missing gap in my pop culture knowledge there.
Yeah,
and it's just a silly cartoon.
Yeah. I did maybe the way the Kinnikuman have how it started out as like it's an Ultraman parody, so it's very comedy things and anything can happen. But then we'll kind of it's still silly. I mean, how could it not be? But after a certain point, we start kind of playing it straight, and what were kind of like these maybe kind of comedy joke wrestlers. Then we gotta think up like what's if he was like a lethal wrestler, like who was a dude who was like a baby, and you keep hitting him, and he kept becomes into like a stronger dude. Like how would that work? How would we make a wrestling baby like a lethal opponent at some point, and then that goes off then like to how many
Why
other
would a
things that we
spring
enjoy.
work for the devil? It's just like, we need to investigate this. Yeah.
Yeah, that needs to fucking like your grappler backy. I read this in National Geographic at the dentist. How can I make that into a martial art? Like and then just like, so many things like that. Again, from a comedy.
Sincerity in the bizarre and comedical kind of stuff. Yeah.
Then we got the Zenshu, episode 8, Confession, in which Luke confesses his love to Natsuko. She's scolded by a bird for messing with the plot of her favorite movie.
They sort that out pretty quickly. It's just like this fucking bird has just been like it's been this kind of menacing like thing in the background. It's like what's
it's just going like it's useless like a parrot. And it's just like fuck this fucking bird, like it's ruining my fucking day. And it's like, has anyone else in town seen this bird around? It's like, well, I asked around, and apparently the robot is saying like the bird is from none of the fucking 9 kingdoms. So because everyone from the 9 kingdoms is in this last town, so they'd fucking know. So it's probably from your world. And she's like, all right, so the bird follows you and also shows up in one other place, which is like creepily watching Destiny do her orphanage thing, and Destiny lures it in and then fucking gets it in a headlock. It's like, I got you, motherfucker. Which is great.
Because then we get the bird sketch of Destiny, and it is far more lascivious than she appeared in the original cartoon. But
I was toned fucking back, basically. It was just like Destiny was always like she always had a horny character design, but she's most disturbed by Destiny just fucking becoming hench. It's like that's not my fucking Destiny. That's not the one I designed. She's like hot and like curvy. You know what I mean? It's not all fucking ripped and jacked and shit. It's like Destiny is great like this. What the fuck are you talking about? Like all the other characters are of the opinion that
the bird has signed the drawing she's made, and at which point
that's the giveaway.
You're my favorite director. That film changed my life.
God!
I was about to feed you to my dragon just a moment ago. I'm very sorry. I had no idea.
Justice hanging out over there, going like sharpening the knife at the barbecue, going like, "Looks like we're having chicken tonight," and all the orphans basically going like, "It's like, hey, Just Chan." He's like, "No, I'm trying to be menacing. Stop, get off me, orphans." And the bird's just like, fucking Just Chan, are you fucking kidding me? Like his name is Justice. It's a cool name. Why would you ruin it with a cutesy moniker on top of that fucking? But yeah, it's just like, you're my favorite director. I got all of your race. Can you sign this to Miss? Her name is like, and she's like, I'm not putting the fucking Miss in there. Like she does autograph it for her or personalize it to her. But it's like, yeah, you're fucking up my movie. You're basically, what's the way she puts it, animation terms, like you're causing us to go over time and budget, basically, because it should have fucking ended by now. And that's the thing of I love the meta joke of that. It's because the length of time a movie would be, like ideally an hour and a half, it's gone on longer than that because it's episode 8 of a show, and it's just like, oh, because you're talking about like a movie budget stretched to a show budget, and she's like, this movie should be over. It's like, that's because it's a show now. It's different. we budgeted it differently.
It's like, this figure you're introducing unknown, unstable elements that weren't in the original design of this thing. Like, and as we know, when budgets and time and planning is stretched too far, the brush will start to melt.
Yeah.
It was that missing.
I would be fine if the last few episodes had bad animation because of that, but so far it shows no signs of stopping.
Well, that'll always be like, we'll keep that in the pocket for if it doesn't go out to real fun and saying, we'll see the world is collapsing now because it's it's like falling under the weight of its own lack of logic.
What's the Tensai Bakabon one? It's like, oh no, it's the bad animation tornado.
The whirlwind of bad animation, yes.
That's it, yeah. They got that to use if they do run out of budget at any stage, which is great.
I assume is a phrase, because I think they use that in Magical Girl Ore as well, don't they? That's episode.
Okay.
That animation episode as well. In the midst of all this, then we get Luke proclaim. Well, first of all, he's discussing it with the unicorn that he's going to leap straight to marrying her.
Yeah, see, no, not him, Brian. His friend.
His friend. Yes,
my friend was thinking of leaping straight to marriage, and the unicorn's getting drunker and drunker. It's like, look, you're like, we've been best friends since we were babies. You don't have any other fucking friends than me. It's like this is why I can't fucking talk to you. You're like, and so he goes to talk to Justice. Well, he goes to talk to the graves of his dead friends, and then Justice shows up and is just like, hey, he talked about it. And Unio kind of goes like, why doesn't he talk to me about it?
Well, because he's my oldest and dearest friend, and I'll always cherish him for it. And he always cherished me. Oh, I've always wanted to know that.
Yeah, it's the thing of Unio is kind of like, why does he talk to me about it? It's like, dude, you were a dick about it. Like, come on, he was trying to open up to you.
There's like, as those friends, you only talk about certain things, right? Because you trust their read on it a bit more than somebody else who might jump to conclusions.
So Justice is of the opinion is like, just fucking come out with it, man. Fucking, you only live once. Just go for it. And so he does, over and over and over again, because she doesn't take to it the first time. She's like, huh? So you love me? Okay.
It's like a much more socially awkward
yes.
that started a Princess Bride. It's just like he's always there, ready and waiting for a fresh baked apple tart, and greeting around the corner, just looking dashing. It's just like, well, you did draw him a lot in primary school. We think you wouldn't internalize some of that.
Yeah. So him just waking her up in the morning or with lunch or something like that with "I love you," and we're just like, okay, just trying to move on with her day. And I did like him saying to Justice again, where it's just like, hey, I said it there every fucking time we meet. And he's like, fucking every time, man. Jesus, don't come across as a weirdo, because he doesn't know. He doesn't have much social interaction as a hero. Mostly sword fighting, I assume, is what his career has been so far.
Well, it was almost the end of the world like 2 weeks ago. So it's what to catch up on things. Who knows what's going to happen next?
Because Justice is of the opinion don't leap straight to marriage. It's like, don't do these in the right order. Like, go out on a date with her. See if you guys like hanging out. Like, that's the thing. And I can't remember how they come across, because I think she mentioned something about a bath before, or hot springs.
It's just like, that's the one thing Jessica never gotten around to yet that she misses from the
real world, this real world kingdom. Yeah.
So we go out there. There's like a lovely thing on the outskirts of town. That big rock guy just punched it up and it's like, oh, because he's this news with a guys. So it's besides being this lovely and nicely sequestered areas we can each go in, so we don't need to kind of be seeing each other. No, it isn't that kind of date. It's also a nice memorial to my dead friend, because I'm all about that. If you hadn't noticed.
And then, this is also the kind of realized as I was watching it. It's like, as the series goes along, the other thing that's changing is Natsuko is being drawn in the cartoon that she's in more like a woman and not a gremlin that she's referred to in episode 1.
Yeah, the thing of her hair being out of her eyes more is kind of the thing of, this is you coming out of this thing you'd locked yourself into. I was like, I can't fucking cut my hair or wash my hair until I fucking get this thing done.
The thing she did real quick with fucking Unio's horn a few episodes back, she was like, okay, it was action time. I gotta tie up real quick and do it. She's like, I just want to hold on to that, because actually it's not a bad look on me. And it's like, you can see a lovely face now.
And also Unio constantly trying to psychically get his unicorn horn back.
It's growing back.
It just makes it glow. It's a nub now, but it's kind of like he still has some control over her hairpin, essentially, which is funny. But yeah, it's a good bit.
Chicks are laughing at me now, but this nub, how it feels.
But of course, they get taken by Void at the baths, and they have to fight it half naked.
The couple of things I did like that her nearly admitting it, because Luke is like, I'm kind of asking leading on questions, so we get the conversation going. It's like, how did you know? Because she's doing impressions of his dead friends. Was it Trident Man or Merfolk Man or something like that? I can't remember the dude's name.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you do a really good impression of him. He wasn't even in the movie that long. Not Luke saying it, me saying it. And she's like, yeah, no one got my references back in the day. It's like, their favorite character. Who do you think the most popular character is? It's actually Unio. It's like great among kids. A lot of older people like him as well, because it's just
merchandise builders. Get out,
And it's like, who's your favorite character? Oh, my favorite character is. Do I want to say that right now? Because it's him. He's my favorite character from the fucking thing. And then oh no, there's a void coming. We got to fight it naked, and we get to do. I appreciate them doing her magical animator transformation sequences with no pants on, because they're just like we reanimated it with no pants on. I was like, good on you guys. That's going the extra mile.
Well, this is again, it really kind of saved her bacon. Like, if it came down to a crunch week, it was just like, well, we can just like, no, let's leave that like printed file just open there. I mean, let's like fill that in with something a little later on. Let's do ways.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is the first one they drew, and then
they painted pants over for the other ones. Yeah. It's possible.
The old John Romita method, allegedly.
I mean, it's also a great way to get the animators motivated. All right, animator doing this in the nude. Okay, now put a jumper on her. All right, now put pants on her. Perfect. We're not going to use that first one, but that sure kept you making it look real fucking good, didn't it? It's just like, tap into that animator horniness. That's the important part.
But going the guy was just saying that the clothes are just like, just a prison binding our our true selves inside. This is the real vision of what I intended.
Because according to him, they made Cutie Honey naked. Also, he was a woman when they made Cutie Honey. His autobiographical manga.
I know. Well, you've got reference material. Just gotta look in the mirror. It's right there.
Yes. So they summon a definitely not Gundam. It definitely doesn't end up in the final shot pose.
Nope. It's like it's mobile fighter. Again, that's still a Gundam thing with fun. It's more like fun. I know. Fun-dam. Funyuns.
Yeah, its arm gets blasted off. I think she gets it because this thing is shooting like a laser, like a ray. So we need some kind of ray shield or something like that. I forgot what it was called in Gundam, but
they're always doing that in Shield. That was just a Shield.
Yeah.
It's got especially like alloy coatings. That's why it can block laser swords. Very brazen, like famous, like final shooting pose from the very end of the series. And like, it's half blown up, but it's got one last bit in it. It's like, yeah.
But I love her like working it out with Luke as well. It's like basically him going like, how many frames have we got left? And she's like, all right, it's going to step 3 times, then leap in the air towards it. And he's like, cool, we'll ride on top of it. And its head getting blown off, and Luke just being right where the fucking head was, like hopping up, and it's just like, all right, cunt. Does a cool charged up sword slash chopping through, and that's enough to win her heart.
Yes, and she gets to do the from the previous episode.
That is a nice one as well. We're just like, now, how do you feel? Feels pretty good, right? That's how you were making people feel for years, or at least 4 separate occasions. Yeah.
4 separate occasions. Yes, it's it's good fun that they spent an entire episode doing that with other people to then set up the end of this episode. It's like Astronaut last year. Kimiko Ueda knows what she's doing with these scripts.
She just knows how, like, how just these kind of little things between men and women must work, Maybe drawing into personal experience here, I don't know. But it also feels a bit like Astronaut. It's like, it just feels consistent in what's going across here, like, as well. It's never, I think, ever strayed very far from its original kind of look and feel of the thing. It's even a still like diversion there into her Antico's backstory there. That was just like fun in itself. Again, felt consistent, but the feel of it all the way through.
Yeah.
So just keep it going. Don't like fall at the last hurdle. Now we're almost there. There's still some doubters out there, and everyone's saying, no, like, this is really good. This is actually going to be a pretty solid little outing here.
There was some people, I saw them saying like along the lines of they're going to go, it's like, it's going to end up with the tragedy ending. Luke is going to die or like be sacrificed, and therefore she's going to have lost her first love, and then that'll inform her to make a good cartoon when she gets back to the real world. And I was like, now Luke's definitely back in the real world. I think he's gotten regular isekai as a fantasy guy into the real world, because I think there was like a bit in the first, I think, episode where she mentioned an actor that'd be perfect to play Luke in like the live action or something like that. And it's like, I think he's already been isekai'd before she ate that bad clam.
Or
I was wondering if everyone ends up.
Everyone, that would be even better. Like even Luke's dead friends, that would be great.
You do the Wizard of Oz ender here. You were there, and you were there.
Yeah,
we have it with the director and the barkeep and that kind of stuff. So like,
the producer,
yeah. Sorry, the producer as the barkeeper, yeah. So we do have that in it already, so it's possible.
Then onto the important thing of the coming of monster ceremony in Chibi Godzilla Reigns Again, episode 42 of season 2.
Mazel
I guess this might be the final episode. There's not one this week. By the looks of things.
They grow colossal so fast.
I mean, it's definitely a way to do. It's like this is the end. They're all grown up now. So it's like this is our last episode until we feel like doing more. It feels like it could be that, but also it randomly fucking disappears, so we don't fucking know.
Hebra shows up to explain their responsibilities. Now they're big monsters. Chibi Hebra, because that's the final punchline is, I guess I'm also a small monster.
So it's just like, these old guys. Apparently, the humans also have coming of age ceremonies, but they don't involve stepping on tanks and stuff like our ones. Just acting like a monster in a different, noisy, annoying societal way, not like destroying buildings and eating trains. The usual way that you would do this.
Yes, because the initial thing is like and then it's like you may have to answer a call, and then his advice is if a problem comes calling, just say please hold while I transfer your call.
That could work. Yeah,
and then they get into mocking humans. Titano shows up to act like a human.
Titano shows up with actual like motivational speech.
Look at me, I'm a human.
You got to continue sticking it to the man.
Well, he is a Yankee. He has good advice.
And then Hebra points out that actually I'm small, and I guess there's not actually any big monsters on this island. Because the punchline is nobody is graduating.
This year, the person who's graduating is nobody. You've all failed. All of you are small, including me. I'm also small.
Those forces to take the year over again, which means more cartoons.
Yes, quite possibly. Or we just loop back around to the very first episode again. So, who knows if that's the final episode. It could work as one, but the mystery of Godzilla is a mystery to me. Dr. Stone's Science Future Episode 8, Lock On. Will Luna be able to point at somebody and watch their heads get blown apart? The answer is no.
No.
Does she want to? Also no.
But this did have some good advantageous use of animation in her arms moving, like starting with one hand pointing and then another one appearing and them going in every single direction but in the direction of pointing at Taiju.
Yeah, I knew I liked Luna for a reason. It's because of this ridiculousness, I think, is why I liked her from the comic. And it comes across very comedic.
I can do it. All I do is point. I can do it. I'm a badass. I'm a total badass. I'm not a badass. I want to go home. I would just want to see his head explode. But Stanley, he figures it out from, I guess, just inferring it, because it goes like,
How is it that Zeno figures out that it's Senku? Like, they get a reverse of that, basically.
He listens to his voice. He finds the recording he's got of his voice.
He's got a little fucking, like,
pulls it off.
But like a thing from, like, Hackers, where he has all the videotapes. Like, he can have it pull the right fucking voice clip out on disc.
Yes, and based on the sound of his voice, he can tell how tall he is.
That is a thing, actually. Yeah, like you can estimate someone's height based off of, like, because it's basically like length of vocal cord to height or something like that. But that shouldn't work on Senku because it's the really fucking tall hair. That should mess with your fucking shot a bunch. But anyway, yeah.
Tay's a good sniper. He knows where the brain is when he's shooting it out.
I think eye lines is how he can judge.
Yeah.
I think Marge Simpson's like head goes all Paul that way. No,
she counts as 7 foot tall, basically, in a lot of official height things or whatever. Yeah.
I've seen her get made as like a wrestler in in wrestling game fun. Her canon height is like 7 foot something, so like that. So you get this like huge woman, but like a big, very tall hair.
Yeah.
So there's 3 possible targets, but only one of them is looking at Luna, looking at him. So he figures that must be Senku. And then Senku realizes that he's about to get shot, rushes over to the bar and makes himself some makeshift body armor.
a experimental body armor that had not been tested in our time as of when did this fucking happen to him again? It was like 20. I'm trying to remember what year the time froze for them. Like, because it's in our past now. We're past the point of Doctor Stone.
Yes, that is the issue. Yeah, I don't know.
2015, I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like a similar mixture for making ballistics gel. So it's just like it's just like let's make it a little bit thicker, and we might stop some kind of round because it's going to like go through the boat. And to pay attention to detail, everyone, this is like a high caliber round. It's going to pierce the siding of the boat, and also throw out wooden splinters at also high velocity. They're also going to
shrapnel of the bullet as well. Yeah. But it's just like, and he's just like, is this the fucking mix for the ice cream or is this the mix for thing? Doesn't fucking matter. I got to fucking science it quick enough to make a bulletproof vest for myself. But we see there is blood as well as that thing getting splattered. So
yes, but
Senku's 100% dead.
I suspect he's going to survive, given that there's still another 2 cores of this to come after this. We get some more before at the start of the episode. We get like the history of the Americans' camp and how they moved across the country to this spot. And
it is funny, like the difference as they point out in the show. Like it's just like, well, we figured out it was nitric acid, and we were like, oh, brilliant, nitric acid. We can use that to save humanity. And the Americans are like, we can make fucking guns and bullets and shit. We can make like a shitload of that. Also, it made me a liar last year. It showed Stanley blowing out smoke twice just to make me a fucking liar. I did notice that.
But it was like fun. Like my fun aim was all over the place. If only you had a smoking fun, Jane. Well, luckily, Stanley, there was some tobacco plants over there. Finally.
Because he's been replacing it with like a twig, and he's just like, I am fucking rolling that shit up and not waiting for it to dry. That's how it's going to go down.
Orientation. You should probably start eating Twizzlers, Lollipops.
They have to reinvent
Pockies,
Twizzlers.
Pepperammies. Maybe with all that stuff. This is his own image after all, and if it's like, how can it be fully intimidating if I'm not this like constantly cigarette in my mouth and taking one drag and throwing it away like we want to do in these cartoons?
It's kind of funny as well, Dr. Zeno taking Senku's dad's advice kind of thing. It was just like, oh, if I'm the first scientist revived, I gotta get guns right now so I can be the top scientist immediately. And even Stanley is like, okay, I got him dead to rights. I'm going to take the shot. It's like, do you want to take it? And it's like, we could work together. Can't risk it. Kill the child. That'll do.
Hey, he's 19 years old now. It makes it a lot easier for him to
Yeah. He's an adult who can be shot with impunity for no reason. Sure.
Yeah, he's a fool. But yeah, I take back what I said about him, that he'd be one-sided, because he definitely has eyes for Stanley, because we get established that
the way he was draped over him.
No, Stanley was so draped over protecting Zeno. That's why I thought, it was one-sided. But Zeno, this one, when he's explaining how to make a cigarette to him and built him his gun, and then you get like the line about my old friend.
My old buddy, old pal. It's like me with this have my arm across his shoulder, just like patting his like and my back, feeding his bicep. It's what two good friends do.
There's the shot of them draped over each other naked in this fucking one that I was just like, they're good buddies.
We're just fresh out of the shell. We've only got some leaves to cover our modesty. It's just like the rough and tumble lifestyle. We gotta rebuild civilization.
This is good old Stan, my totally heterosexual lover. I mean, friend. Sorry, friend. I mean, sorry. Words are weird. I don't know.
Up to me and him to repopulate the earth.
Yes.
Sure.
As Marshall King continues, I'm missing those thumbnails that he did before Buichi drew it in Dr. Stone, because goodness me, some of that Marshall King is all over the place.
It's showing. It's Buichi going like, look how many fucking guys I can pack in. It's like, yeah, Buichi, can you pack them in a way that reads better? Because it's impressive. It's very fucking impressive. I'm not fucking denying it, but it's just like readability.
I love pouring over it now. It went very much like it's Trigon, but also like a big dollop of metal slug in there as well with a crazy drill tank fucking cannon. Because this is cool.
Yeah, the design is great, like for sure.
Yeah, the art looks nice. Let's say I just wish it was a little easier to read floating from panel to panel.
Most panels are just like hails of gunfire and bullets.
Yeah.
Or a splash picture of every window in the building with somebody with some manner of gun that's firing wildly.
Designed cool gun and a different designed character shooting that cool gun. Yeah.
Then we got Trillion Game, episode 20, The Price of Glory, in which Daddy tries to buy our boys out. And we get more of a glimpse of like why Kirihime might be annoyed at the rest of her family.
Because it is established here she's not the only kid. We see how many fucking kids this fucking guy has. It's like, yeah, I can easily get rid of her, and I've got so many other fucking heirs. Like, it's not a big fucking problem for me.
No, that's the thing. Is like her father's impulse, if our business instinct is to either crush or control. And there's no like, yeah, but if you do either of those things, you're never going to let like this talent like actually innovate and diversify our business. So you got to give him a bit of a chance. Like fun say, nope. I'm your father. We crush or we control. I'm gonna do it to this little upstairs, this little fucking twerper as well.
Yes, whereas she wants to nurture people who are good at their jobs.
She wants to be like a shocking fucking turn of phrase for me. A good manager. She wants to help people be their best thing that they are. That's why she's excited by the two lads.
In a cheeky, sexy way.
Yeah. A fun way.
So, of course, a big chunk of this episode is the dad carrying out a plan that we know from the start is not going to work, because we've had a flash forward where we have Gaku explaining the plan was never going to work.
It's just he just spends so much time. It's just like, we have a massive kind of meeting right here, and some guys running the numbers point saying, well, in this quarter we made 1% point change. Just cut to the chase. Forget that nerd shit. I want to buy out your company. Well, here's my offer. I'm sure you find it's quite generous. And it's like, and then takes him outside for like a walk in amongst these spacious gardens, and a thunderstorm is rolling in. It's like, it's very ominous. It's just like, well, here your choice is right now. If you want to do anything that says you can marry my daughter, you can marry Kirihime, and then I will accept you in. It's just like that, and it's just like this whole mental gambit at this point saying, well, either he accepts it and he grabs it before me, or he turns it down, and then he's just he reduces Kirihime's backing over all this one, saying yes, either way he's fucked. I have him cornered.
And it's the other thing of Kirihime is all he does so many manipulations and everything here, where he is offering them a decent amount. He's not offering them pittance. It's like, you make a several million profit on this, which is that's ideal. That's what you want out of business. I'll buy your shares for this much extra. You'll make a profit. That's what you set this thing up for, right? To make a profit. And then you could build another thing from the ground up. I don't fucking care. But the thing with Kirihime is she can't interject, because if she says, no, daddy, I don't want to marry that guy, then it's you're opposing me, that but you can't. But you can't say, yes, daddy, I do want to marry that guy because I think he's fucking hot, which is now you're playing into my hand. She can't say anything, and that's the frustrating thing for her. And I was like, that's really good, that she's been forced. You can see why he's a piece of shit to her as well.
Yes,
from her perspective.
Don't worry, because Haru has a lie for every purpose.
I'm very sorry. I'm already married. I'm very flattered, but
I'd love to
might
call you
cause
daddy.
a little bit of trouble at home. If you know what I mean. So we'll take this back. We'll talk to our people. We'll talk about the offer, and we'll go. And he's just there for saying, I had a whole thing set up. No, do you know how much it cost to arrange that thunderstorm to get all this in? It's it's nuts what I had to do to this.
And asking our other guy is is he fucking married? He's like, no, he's not fucking married. He's lying. Very, very provably a lie, but it doesn't fucking matter, because it's just yep, that would mean he can't marry someone else.
There's a polite way to get out of that situation. Also, I like how Kirihime's dilemma is being told to us by her bodyguard.
Yes.
And it softens you a bit on him as well.
He has affection for her. Clearly he's fucking into her, but but he's I can't speak up because that man could fucking ruin my life.
I think you're to the dick as well, but I can never say that. No, I gotta believe what she believes. Well, unless she says you're dead to think, I can't ever say that, even though he totally is.
And then Dad meets with his money men, and they're both going, three of them going, yes, of course they're going to take the money. It's 15 billion yen. They'd be fools not to take it. And then, meanwhile, Harry's taking everybody on a holiday. He claims at first saying, it's because I need to get away with all the money talk in Tokyo.
It's team building,
Yes.
company retreat.
Rinrin's like,
it's all getting a little serious. Yeah.
How can you just let lies come out of your mouth like that?
He's like, sorry. Like rubbing the back of his head, his standard fucking like, I can get away with it because I'm handsome, and if I say sorry with a pleasant smile, everyone fucking goes like, go on, work away.
We're just gonna have fun. Take a trip to America, get to do Las Vegas, and then of course at the end, Gaku's like, "Are we really here to have fun? What are you really here to do, Harry? Because I think you were covering that lie with another lie."
Yeah. Like part of it, I was thinking, are they going to Las Vegas in order to lose a bunch of money to show the impermanence of money and the unimportantness rather than the thing that we built? Or has Harry got another fucking scheme in Las Vegas to make them a shitload of money?
But here is how the mafia controls the casinos. It's very simple. They got a great framework to work from here. I think if we adopted some of this business strategy, of violent assassinations and money laundering, I'm sure we could retake on Dragon Bank with some of that. So you gotta learn from the best, or be something like, how do we make our gadget game more addictive? If you gotta go to Vegas,
study
some research here.
Yeah.
How do they keep you in the building? How do they do that?
But yeah, it's just like a fun 5 minutes watching all the characters behave how they behave, but in a different location. I do love the one developer who just constantly has bubblegum as a bubble coming out of his mouth.
I can speak around it.
Even when he's asleep with it later on.
Well, it when it's your man's snot bubble and it's his like bubblegum bubble, I was just like, that's nice. That's pretty good, actually. As background characters who don't get much to do, I'm glad they keep that consistency of, we're just here to comment on shit going on, really.
If only I could fly in a plane that had infinite ramen service.
Yes.
That would be... That'd make a lot of those long haul flights a lot easier, I gotta say.
They let you eat as much soup as you like in the lounge.
It's just excited about soup. It's like, whoa!
It's a nice soup, man. I get it. I get
chicken and vegetable. Whoa, what a country!
What a way to live.
Yeah. Next episode, all in.
Yep. Gonna bet the company payroll, but it all on black. Simple solution, you gotta agree.
Wait, was it this episode that is contrasted? Haru still doesn't have a place to live.
Gaku even Haru's got something to live.
Haru's got something. He's probably sleeping around kind of thing is the implied thing, but I assume he has another fucking scheme in play. He always has schemes. That that he doesn't have a place to live. In contrast with his modern day billionaire status, where he's still trying to find like the cheapest deal between on
Amazon for the latest thing. If I buy an Alibaba, if I buy it on Wednesday, I get 20% off with my points. It's like there's no way to conduct yourself. It's kind of demeaning.
You're a billionaire. It's like that's no reason not to save money. Listen, vouchers are vouchers. They're still good.
Then we got from Bureaucrat to Villainess. Dad's been reincarnated. Episode 8. Dad becomes a maid. But first of all, we get to try out a wand in a book. The lad is absolutely made up about that.
It's the contrast of he's the tsundere, but he's really easy to fucking like please because he's like, oh my god, it's so fucking cool. Check it out. Yeah,
I think it's also partly possibly thematically important because of the stuff we get in the second half, where it becomes clear like the magic that commoners and beastmen use is useful. And how actually useful is the magic that these people at this school is learning?
It looks really cool. Like a dragon that shoots fire and ice. It's a super good.
It's kind of like, the idea is like, I can summon this thing and I can summon a beast that I can now turn into a fucking sword and I can use the sword with the magic. And it's like, cool, I can like heat up my drink or boil a kettle by holding it. I'm just like, that one. That's the magic I want.
Most importantly, the duty I was hired for. My hands are human hair curlers. I can just get that massive fucking spirals into Grace's hair every morning without fail.
Because it's the thing of it's using as an iron and stuff. It's like all of that is like kind of thing about magic systems. Just like that would be the magic that you want. It's when you look at prestidigitation, and it's just like you can clean 1 square foot of fucking clothes, and it's like I'm just gonna open a laundrette because I can prestidigitate all fucking day, and I don't need to go on any fucking adventure. It's cool. That's the magic I want.
In between the two halves, though, we get a little dream sequence when Kenzaburo discovers Grace trapped inside a cage as he's led to her by his dragon, who can now talk to him and sounds awfully familiar.
And meanwhile, his daughter's like playing. Is like, wait a minute, this isn't in the fucking game. Like I've played this game through several times. But now that I think about it, the whole Anna was either going to go home to work in the family bakery or stay and study in the thing for the summer break. But this is the third option where she's going to Grace's mansion, and this whole fucking deal with that. It's like, yeah, I've opened up like a third route, and also now we're in a dream
new
sequence.
game plus, I suppose.
Yeah.
So Grace looks depressed inside this cage. Kenzaburo is like, well, first things first, let's get out of that cage.
He's like, I don't know really what I am to you. Like, am I your jailer essentially because you're trapped inside me? But it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get you out of this fucking cage, basically, because it's just like because he's cool. Like, doesn't understand what's happening, but he tries to do the right thing.
He turns to look at him, and then the thing lights up, and he wakes up in Grace's body. I think there's a few clues to this. There's the bit in when the head maid's explaining the family, and the mum is recuperating.
Yeah.
Somewhere, and it was like, oh, is Grace become mean because she's having to do too much in the absence of the mother that she's worried about?
She's had because apparently she was a lovely child and turned into a real shit later on, and it's just like, yeah, because she's been forced to kind of grow up too quickly. Exactly, the societal expectations is kind of making her a dick, which kind of makes sense because even her dad's not a dick. She was cool when she was a kid. It's like, why is she a dick now?
Like her dad is like, he's the finance minister, but he's a big kid. He's out back playing Beyblade. It's just like he never let go of that, because he had I guess a normal upbringing, whereas this time was all thrust upon her. And
yeah.
Yeah, so I assume that's it because when this is the first time we see the mother in the maid who can do the heating magics flashback, and it's like at first she seems stern, she's like a shadowed face, but then she lightens up when she is explaining, oh yeah, she hired me for this job, it's been great, it keeps the wolf from the door, I can pay to feed all my.
She was using her eating thing to iron clothes, siblings. And then the lady went, that's cool, I'm gonna hire you for my mansion. She's like, I noticed your daughter's hair has like some slight split ends. I think I can do hairdressing as well, because like you said, now natural fucking hair curlers, and that's why her hair is in curls to this very day. And
they point out
7 hours, but we do it.
Yes, Grace never yells at this maid, even when she's become mean.
This maid has a great opinion of her, even when she was a dick. It's just like, no, she's always been like a really good kid, and it's just like, okay, so there's more to Grace than we know from what we know of her as the villainess of this video.
And it's nice that again we're a little bit ahead of Kenzaburo on this, because this is Kenzaburo is not learning this, is Anna learning all this during the Maid training.
Anna has agreed to come here because Grace is like, one day you're going to know how to live in rich society and have like fucking hoity-toity manners and shit like that.
Yeah,
and she's like,
as your assistant. That's right, Anna. As when you're the queen and I'm your assistant.
Yeah, the reversals of the completely different thing is like, you could marry the king or any of these other noble guys, but you're going to need to know how the nobles work. And she's like, and she's like, because you want me to work for you. And Grace is like, no, because I want to work for you. It's like, because you'll be like the queen, basically. But neither of them can communicate this because they're both stupid in different ways.
It's just kind of self-assured. It's just like,
Yeah.
You're saying there's a chance.
Yes. Well, I think what Anna wants is to marry Grace.
I mean, like everyone wants to marry Grace at this stage, except for her dad. Don't be weird about it. Like,
when they're testing out the bed, you have to lie on the bed so you understand how Grace feels when she's in the bed, and you can make the bed up properly.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets in, and she's like, just starts drooling and going, it's the smell
of it. Oh my god, I can smell her perfume.
It's like she's embracing me.
This could be us. I could have this every day.
And then she realizes she's being stared at by the little cat maid.
Again, the contrast of like Grace being the assistant to Queen Anna, and then like just reverse those two things. Secretary Anna and Queen Grace. It was like, I like the fact that they just like swap the faces essentially. Very, very funny bits of them, their misunderstanding, and also Anna just being obviously in love with Grace. That Anna's going for the Grace route. She's locked the fuck in on that.
And Kenzaburu's mind just seeing nobility as another form of government bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Is also
etiquette around these things. You got to address people in a certain way, be polite, know the customs.
There's ways of getting ahead in society, because obviously her dad came from, like, he's second generation of not really that noble a house, but he's taken on the family name of is it Aubergine?
Auvergne.
Auvergne, sorry, Aubergine. Fuck's sake, I was like, that can't be it.
Well, you saw the perfectly manicured like French style gardens they have at the back of the mansion. It couldn't be anything but like.
Yeah. Also making that one cat maid in the subtitles speak in French a little bit, which is kind of odd. Yeah.
Yeah. Even
I assume she's speaking more formal or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I hear her say yes, and she responds "da." So it's like she's like I guess the original in terms of like a Russian or Eastern European.
Yeah.
Kind of probably kind of Russian to me is a lot closer. But it was to say like the probably get like a lot of like immigrant laborers from like over from Russia too. It's right there.
Yeah. And again, the kind of thing was like, the animal people, the beast kin or whatever they're called in this, the animal people are servants. None of them are students at the school. And it's kind of like, no, this is a good, like, as he points out, it's like, this is a good fucking job. Like, she can keep the rest of her siblings like fed and like probably educated and that kind of stuff. And they're training up this young maid, which means they're giving her a full fucking education, room and board, while she's not actually a good maid, as we've seen. So it's like it's a pretty good deal for them. And also, their magic is objectively better. Like, it's not all of them can do it, but it is practical magic, which is nice.
Yeah, I do wonder if that's going anywhere. If that's just a nice little world detail.
Yeah, like as the daughter keeps pointing out, it's like, this is very different from the usual video game. The battle scenes are way fucking more intense. Like, there's all this world building that was not in the fucking game. We never go to the. I did it again. Auvergne Estate. In the regular game. Yeah. It's definitely like building. It is doing world building stuff that is interesting, even if it doesn't go anywhere with it. Yeah.
And then let's say goodbye to a world as we go to Dragon Ball Daima episode 20 Maximum.
Up they go. It's like, okay, squeeze it all out, lads. Whatever you got left in, just put it all up.
Yeah. Fight this guy who looks almost like Jiren, but not quite.
Almost.
He looks like Jiren from the back because of like that little butt, like the little butt and the big body is the thing that makes me the most.
Yeah.
It's generally Jiren laid out. I think it's because he lost the cape. It's kind of losing his own quality, but then the cape would have to comically get large with him as well. So
I suppose so. But goddamn it, it's like Goku. All you gotta do is distract him. You didn't need to fucking punch a hole between the three realms. In a very symbolic, like, spectacularly destructive gesture.
And I knew Piccolo. I knew they were going to make Piccolo fucking botch it. It was just like
I was so mad about that. It's like,
I was also mad about it because I was just like, there's no way they fucking let Piccolo get the fucking win. I'm glad they gave it to Ku. Like, I'm like, he deserved it. Yes. But like, you made Piccolo look like a punk. Like, that's just standard Dragon Ball. Piccolo hasn't won a fight since like Cell 1 up until Dragon Ball Superhero. Like, basically, I think it was Cell 1 was the last fucking fight he won or something like that. Like, a long fucking time ago.
It was just like, you see this massive spectacle. It's Super Saiyan 4 is fun. It's it's in here right now. He's going literally ape shit, just fun, destroying the whole place, and it's fucking. Let's just hit him in the back of the head with a heavy book. There.
It's just Piccolo, you didn't have to go like, and now for the final blow. You just need to beat the shit out of him with a fucking book. Because even our sorceress kind of going, it's like, maybe there's more secrets in the book. And Ku's like, hit him with the book. Gotcha, boss. That kind of thing. Yeah, it's just 3 blows to the back of the head. It doesn't say you have to do super powered punches or anything. Just hit him in the back of the head with a book 3 fucking times. That'll do the job.
Yeah, because the weaker the punch you use, the less likely he is to notice it's happening to him.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Much more sense to do it that way.
Just like 3 rabbit punches. It doesn't need to be complicated in this thing. But even when the eye kind of comes out and everyone's like, oh shit, and Gloria kind of sees the eye, you think, is Gloria going to stab that eye into himself? And Gloria's like, steps in it like a bug. It's like, okay, we're cool. We're cool. The eye is gone. We're good.
They didn't get to use those fusion bugs,
No.
though.
The bugs were the setup for the joke at the end, and I was like, that's fine, because I was thinking it was initially like a failed Chekhov's gun, but it was like, I see why.
The very final punchline is great. The reveal of the other eyes for sale.
Oh, these old things? Oh,
it's
yeah.
That we got to go back to that bug shop because we lost all our bugs, and Bun was like excited by some of the bugs that make your skin look smooth because she is now lamenting her 40-something-year-old skin rather than her childlike soft skin. But your one has a jar of like 2 other fucking eyes. It's like, yeah, I had 3 of them, but I sold one to a guy like ages ago. It's like, they're really powerful. They're like, you just like have random fucking like world-ending fucking materials in this shop. It's like, yeah,
but sure, they aren't priced to move though. They're just right there at the back. Not much demand for them, but I keep them in stock just for the sake someone might walk in.
But yeah, before that, we obviously get the we get our Demon King arrested, which is just like. Which means we're putting him and his accomplice in the bottle. And they're just like, hey, is that? And it's like, at some point, Master Roshi robbed the technique from a fucking demon, presumably. But it's a lot fairer than the way Master Roshi does the demon sealing in a jar technique, because
we got a PlayStation in here.
Exactly. I mean, like, you're trapped in there for 99 years, as Piccolo says, for good behavior, essentially. You're real sorry about what you did. All right, not 100 years, 99 years. But they got a PlayStation there. They got a deck of cards. That's better one fucking Roshi.
Board games, couch. It's all right.
Yeah, and they put them in together so they have company. And I was like, I feel like they're going to hate each other by the end of it, but they might also be best friends by the end of it. Who the fucking knows?
Look, and dig us through how useless are you? You didn't do anything. You didn't have no effect. Anything that happens here.
Oh, we thought he was going to be the big bad. That's the funny part. It's like, nope. He just
maybe he's plotting. If Aronsu was plotting, maybe he's plotting his own plot within the plot. No, it was just always this useless little dweeb.
And so the lads are figuring this out. It's like, so we need a Demon King. How about whoever defeated the Demon King gets to be the next Demon King? And Ku's like, oh fuck, that's me. Cool.
So they're like, it's like a half minute. It's like looking around for and saying, huh?
Yeah. And the other thing about it is, I liked his design, but like I always felt like the other lad worked better. But put a cape on that fucker, it completes it.
He's got a very small shoulder to see when you kind of like, you got something there to make that a bit more like ostentatious at all. He's going fun saying, and you get a job in the cabinet, and you get a job in the cabinet.
Like going to his mother / creator, going like, obviously you're going to be co-Demon King or Vice Demon King, and she's like, oh okay. It's like, wave to the people, co-Demon King. And she's like, oh okay. Because everyone's cheering. You can be minister to his brother.
Jobs with the lads.
All right. Anyone else want to be a minister?
Nope. All right.
Yes, he's going. Yes. I want to be a minister. The guy lad in the hat, and it's like just does not hear him. Well, obviously does hear him.
Just ignores him without even fucking registering that he did. It's just like, well, that's all the promotions for today. It's just like,
not everybody's. Well, seeing if everybody's here, let's party.
Even her friggin' your one's dad gets a promotion to minister, and he's like, but I'm already king of like the third demon world. It's like, all right, now you're first minister and the king of the third demon world, because you'll basically be the guy in charge of that. And it's just like, I already was the guy in charge of that, but yeah, it's cool. It's a nice extra feather from a hat. Everyone's happy except for the one guy who did get a promotion.
Order is restored, and maybe Aronsu will get it like, fun. Oh, well, Demon World is, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more exciting. But, maybe not, maybe I'm not all the way evil. Maybe I'm just ambitious. That's different.
Yeah, and it's the thing of that's why her brother's kind of like, I'm cool with you, like, planning to make the demon realm more evil and stuff, is it? Because you clearly have a moral compass. Because your guy betrayed you for your years of fucking planning and training him how to speak the making and that kind of stuff. Is just like, and you were just like, fuck it. I live for millions of fucking years. Who cares? I'll go for the next plan. She's cool in a weird, evil way. I even like the bit with the the Jamaicans kind of with the old guy kind of going like, hey, you guys want to move home? And they're like, nah, we got shit on Earth. I will say it's all the disparate Jamaicans that got kicked off their fucking planet from exploding. Is like they can move back into the Daima world. It's like, that'll be lovely, thank you. I was just like, oh, that's nice. Nice little button in that. They got a place to live if they want. Basically.
We got a whole kind of middle world here that basically looks the exact same as the home planet. If you're really missing it. They're okay on Namek too. You know, it'll be fine.
They have the options, basically, is the thing. Yeah.
What a great series! What some great new characters! Just a whole lot of fun.
It's like, you know, it's again, it's just like fun, encapsulates fucking the man and why I was about it. It's just like you get fucking a spectacular fucking like action spectacle.
Yes.
Just immediately kind of undercut. Then no, was just like, oh yeah, it's just some dumbass shit just happened. We fucking finished the final boss. We hit him in the back of the head with a book, and that was it. I love this. I love this. Well, this bit at the end when I stop by that little shop and it gets super loose in the animation. Like this is actually really why it was all that big ass fight with the super Kamehameha was like look crass, but this is actually where this everything.
We're having
was
a lot of fun with the
to.
bounciness of the characters and everything. Yeah. And setting up, it goes like, look, we could find a million other fucking artifacts to make a new big bad for us to go on a fucking adventure. The universe is filled with shit that we could fight and have cool jokes with. So. It's kind of like a nice promise of we could do more of this if we wanted, but obviously the man himself is gone, and it's kind of like, do we want to be involved in any of that more stuff? And I think it might just be on a case by case basis if it has that kind of spirit going through it. Maybe.
Well, it'll be back. People, whether it's good or not, we don't.
It'll
know.
be back, but like,
do
we want it? Like that's the thing I'm asking.
Well, this felt like, you know, any potential like wells that were like maybe left untapped or like, you know, not drawn on too much fun and saying, well, now like I'm opening the gates and everyone, like, you know, anything happening in Super, like that's all well and good. Anything happens in Daima that is made up as here, that's all good as well. Anything happening in Dragon Ball GT, this bit anyway, fun saying, that's all in there as well. Where do you want to do with this after I'm gone? I give you like kind of like permission to just like go nuts to that fun, use it all, throw everything at the wall, pick everything in there. Bring back the bow staff fight, you know, fun. I mean, but don't forget that part as well. Don't forget, like, you know, that other bit of history as well. Like, you know, go loosey goosey, go stupid with it. You know, but make sure you got a team of 5 guys who do stupid poses because I also love putting that in there.
Yeah. This was such a good, like, tight show. You could have easily seen them drawn out to longer and have those 5 guys who do stupid poses be a more major part of it. But it was like, hey, this kind of character, you like these kind of goobers.
Maybe the kind of final like battle, like, you know, if it went on like a bit too long, but then it went up in stages as well. It was just like when everyone piling in them now, if it been a bit like, you know, a more modern toy thing like they're doing in One Piece, and it's like once like everyone just pile in and fucking just go in and go nuts in this dude and tear him up. Team ups you don't expect, you know, but again, like when it came down to the kill shot going about to land, who jumps in there? But Majin Du and the 1-star like Dragon Ball Golem is like fun saying they're the only 2 guys who could just get into the save. Fun saying not Vegeta, not Piccolo, just these guys get in there as well. It's like just throw little things like that as well, and you miss it, like
definitely,
it's. I kind of look at stuff like the One Piece fan letter, let's say, which is like that was like, you know, drawing upon some previous generations. There was like a book. It was adapting little kind of stories off of that felt like it was like a One Piece thing that's only very very loosely attached. It's very light hand from Eiichiro, but I felt there's so much like it, and it got what was great and what people love about One Piece all in there, and I feel like, no fun. There are some people who probably feel a similar way about Dragon Ball, like, you know, but I feel with this a bit, they have a right idea, but they have a right kind of grasp of what makes it special to so many people all around the world. So you will have stuff as well, like, you know, that one I didn't see, like, you know, the Dragon Ball Heroes, which was like fun. So Heroes, all alternate versions, like, you know, of all the characters, like kind of like the fanfic things like that, and we're going to have like little YouTube episodes of them kind of fighting each other, and that was always big. That was still like a thing that we're doing. That's fine. People want that, they have that, but have something like this as well. That just is. It has the idea of what is it now, and it's not afraid to go stupid and silly as well as just like hellacious and cool with the action. It's just like you need all those ingredients for a balanced Dragon Ball diet.
I was just looking at the ludicrous amount of fighters that are in that Sparking Zero game that came out last year.
Yeah, I think I saw a clip from that of Piccolo in his kind of yellowy form from Superhero.
Yeah.
And it's basically him going like, "Hey, what do you think of my update? Maybe you should download an update or whatever." And it's just like, it's Piccolo going, "Buy the DLC." And I was like, fuck this game. I was just like,
I'm available in shops now.
Yeah, basically. And I was like, that's a bit on the nose for me. It's funny.
There's not many DLC characters. There's so many characters before you would get to the DLC.
Okay, well, I don't know why they have Piccolo promoting it then.
Well, that's because he's in the DLC. The original play.
It's the DLC Piccolo promoting the DLC. I guess if you're playing him online and you don't have it yet, I don't know.
I think the DLC is, from this page of the list of fighters, it seems to be all Dragon Ball superhero. So I assume at some point you'll be getting a Daima DLC as well, which will have your good boys and your bad boys and everyone in between.
Yeah. They're going to put in Glorio, and then they're going to have a bunch of lines for Goku where he does not fucking get his name. He gets his name right once in this whole thing. He gets it wrong at the end again. But
any new Dragon Ball iteration of whatever form it takes seems to just like kind of maybe set off a few little dominoes or reactions in other places like that, because now we're getting Uniqlo, because Daima is up, we're getting new Dragon Ball shirts in Uniqlo, not like strictly Dragon Ball Daima apparel. Also other ones that use like a cool big splash of illustration from like way back when. Again, it's this big celebration of Toriyama and what he's done.
Yeah.
This episode also aired and finished, I think, on the anniversary of his death. So it was just it's already been a year, and it's like, it's just even like a whole sign off from himself. His blessing to just go nuts with the thing, have fun with it.
Rightio, that's it for this week, and most importantly, that's one less thing for me to try and squeeze in to watch next week.
But will you feel this lesser for it? I already.
Well, the annoying, this was an easy one to watch in terms of watching it when it came out.
Yeah.
It's the midweek ones I struggle with. Rightio, that's it for now. Ta-ra.
Farewell.